Alright, we have switched over to Bobby Drake, aka Iceman. We are still playing Expert Four Horsemen using Standard 3, and now we have to set up, so let's roll to see what order we're going to be facing them in. 5 and 6 I'm going to reroll, so this is going to be 6 reroll 3. War is going to be the first one, which is never what I want to see, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 5, so Death is going to be the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 is Famine, and then Pestilence is going to be the very last one. Now we have to roll for the side scheme that we're going to start with. 4 is going to be Plague and Pestilence. This means that I cannot thwart the main scheme, unfortunately. As for Iceman, I think my plan is to basically just... Well, okay, my plan was to attack War, and my plan was to basically just attack one horseman until I get enough counters on them, enough ice... What are they called? Frostbite on them, so that when they scheme, they will do nothing. So then when it is their turn to activate, I will flip over, and then they will scheme for nothing. So it is effectively a confuse, except I have to do way more work for it. However, War is the first minion now, so now I have to deal with him being the one to activate first. So let's see how this works out. Drawing our hand of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and... what do we have? We have our ice, or we have our power bout. That's good. Oh, we have our power bout and a snow clone. Definitely want to play these two cards, so let's just use these 4 for snow clone and power bout. Seems like a good idea to me. So I'm going to use these 4. We got our ice bout, we got our snow... Oh, wait, no, but then War is going to activate, and I have to discard the snow clone. I guess in that case... I mean, I could stay in Alter Ego for just 1 turn. That way War will scheme instead. But then Death is going to activate after that, and then Snow Clone's going to be kind of screwed. But let's give this a try. This seems like a terrible idea. Let's give this a try. I'm going to stay in Alter Ego mode. I'm going to play Snow Clone and Power Boat, and that's going to be the end of my turn, because after this, Death will activate, and I don't want Snow Clone going away. So let's draw our hand size of 6 once again. Actually, I got almost all Iceman cards during that. That's interesting. Okay. We got some more non-Iceman cards, but we got our Cryos Kinetic Perception, so that's kind of necessary. Don't know how I'm going to play that yet. So, main scheme is going to get 1, and then War is going to scheme for 2, plus Star. Heal 3 damage from the activating enemy and give it a tough status card. That's okay. They have no damage on them, but they will get a tough, and then the first counter is going to go over to Death. Main counter, whatever, is going to go to Death. They have schemed for 2, so the main scheme goes up to 4, and then we reveal a Sinister Strike in Alter Ego mode, so this card gains Surge, and 1 counter gets put on Pursued by the Past. Surge card is going to be Exhaustion, Surge, and review, or exhaust your identity. So next card is going to be Metal Wings attached to Death, and move the first counter to him. Death gets Retaliate 1, and is considered to have at least 1 hit point remaining, and it boosts other stats. That's not a great start. Okay, so maybe I don't attack Death this turn. Maybe this turn I don't attack Death. I don't have anything I need to play in Alter Ego mode, so I can flip over to Iceman, and unfortunately I am exhausted, so the Cryokinetic Perception is not going to be helpful this turn. I definitely want to use the Power Boat for something to pay for an Ice card. Question is which one and how am I going to do it? That and that for Ice Slide. No, this and this for Cryokinetic Perception. Power in all of us for Beak, and that won't give me enough for Ice Slide, unfortunately. I don't think I need the Ice Slide, though. I think the Cryokinetic Perception is more important, and Beak will be useful to have. So I'm going to use these 2, or I'm going to use the Power Bout and Ice Blast for the Cryokinetic Perception. I'm going to use the Power in all of us for Beak. Beak comes into play, and after I do that, I get to remove 1 threat from a scheme for each X-Men ally I control, so that's 2 X-Men allies. I will remove 2 from the Plague and Pestilence because I can't thwart the main scheme. Followed by... well, I'm going to discard these 2 cards, I guess. What am I going to do with any of my characters? Nothing. Beak is not going to do any... No, Beak can activate because Death is going to block... Death is going to be blocked by Beak, and then after Death attacks, they're going to deal 1 damage to each character I control, so it doesn't matter that Beak will only have 1 hit point. So Beak is going to attack... No, Beak is going to thwart the main... not main scheme. Plague and Pestilence by 1. And that's going to be the end of my turn. We're not off to a great start. We're not off to a good start at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. I don't think I have any defense events, so main scheme is going to get 1. Main scheme is going to get 1, and then Def is going to activate. Beak is going to block this. Def is attacking for star. Put a counter on Pursued by the Past that is building up rapidly, which will deal 1 damage to Snow Clone after Def attacks, and Iceman will also take 1 damage. This will also move this over to Famine, and I don't think that... Yeah, nothing else happens whenever he attacks. So now we reveal another card. That card is the Eye of Sauron. Discard the top 2 cards of your deck. 3 cards instead if Sauron is in play. For each resource icon discarded this way, do the following. So that's going to be a Wild, exhaust a character you control. I'm going to exhaust my Snow Clone, not myself. And a Lightning, place 1 threat on the main scheme. That's not that bad. 1 threat on the main scheme, it's up to 6. Although it can only go up to 12, so that's kind of bad. But that's going to be it for the villains. So now it is my turn, and I would like to... Okay, before I do anything, I'm going to attack with Iceman so I can draw my card and see what I draw. So Iceman is going to attack War to get rid of the Tough. I think I want to rush down War first, just because I don't want him getting rid of my upgrade. So that's going to exhaust Iceman, and then I'm going to use my Cryokinetic Perception. Oh, and this will also put a Frostbite counter on War. And then I'm going to use my Cryokinetic Perception to draw a card. If it has the Ice trait, it does not. I would get to ready Iceman. Unfortunately, it does not. So... at this point, I'm going to use 2 for a team building exercise, and then I'm going to use my power belt and my team building exercise for a Snow Clone. I think I'm going to leave Cyclops in my hand for next turn, and I'm going to discard the Avengers Mansion. So Snow Clone can attack for free because War has a Frostbite on them, so War is going to take 2 damage. And that's going to be the end of my turn. Cyclops stays in my hand, drawing back 4 more cards, triage, chill out, make the call, and lead from the front. Lead from the front is good. So, main scheme is going to get 1. Famine is going to attack. I am going to take this. He's attacking for 2 plus... That's a 3 boost. Obviously, he gets a 3 boost whenever I don't block, so that's going to put me up to 6 damage, followed by discarding the top 10 cards of my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... 10 cards off the top of my deck, and the villain counter moves over to Pestilence. And then we're going to reveal a card. That card is Sauron Lives. When defeated, the player who defeated the scheme searches the encounter deck and discard power for Sauron and deals it to themselves as a face-down encounter card, and that comes into play with 3 counters. I don't know what Sauron is, I don't know what he does, but either way I need to thwart this out and this out in order to thwart out the main scheme, which is rapidly approaching 12. Unfortunately, I can't use any of my 3 resource generators to pay for Cyclops or lead from the front. That doesn't work out at all. So I get to only play 1 of these. And I think the one I want to play is Cyclops. Chill Out is going to be after I make my attacks. Yeah, Chill Out is going to be after I make my attacks, so I'm going to use 3 for Cyclops. Cyclops comes into play, and after Cyclops enters play, choose an enemy until the end of the phase, increase the amount of damage that enemy takes from each attack by 1. So I'm going to choose War. War is going to take 1 additional damage for every attack I do. Iceman is going to attack War, and I'm going to exhaust my Cryokinetic Perception to draw a card, so that's going to be dealing 3 damage to War, putting them up to 5. This will also put a Frostbite counter onto War, and I get to draw a card. And if it is an Ice card, I get to ready... Oh my goodness, this is the very first time I got an Ice card. I have played an entire game and Cryokinetic Perception did not activate, and it finally activated. So Iceman gets to unexhaust themselves, and now Iceman is going to attack again, dealing another 3 damage, putting them up to 8. Snow Clone, oh, this will also put another freeze counter on them, and then both Snow Clones are going to attack, dealing another 6 damage, putting them at death. Yeah, 6 plus 8 is 14. That will put them at death, so they have no HP left. So I guess in that case, Cyclops might as well thwart 2 from Sauron Lives. Sure. And then I'm going to use my power belt and my team building exercise to... Oh, I have 2 chill outs in my hand. Well, that's a shame. Oh well, I'm going to use 1 chill out, remove 3 threats from a scheme, so that's going to be the Plague and Pestilence. And because I have done that, my identity's text box is now treated as blank until the next villain phase begins, which is not that bad, because I've already done all my stuff. So Chill Out will also allow me to put a set-aside copy of Frostbite onto an enemy. Who do I want to choose? I'm thinking War again. So next turn I'm going to flip over after Pestilence activates. So then War will scheme for nothing. Even if they boost for 2, they will still scheme for nothing. So that's going to be the end of my turn. I'm going to keep Chill Out in my hand, probably to thwart whatever happens. Also, it's just a good card. So I'm going to draw back up to... Ooh, yes, this works out perfectly. This works out perfectly. So I get to draw up to 5, and now there's 1 card left in my deck. So then when I flip over next turn, I'm going to put 2 more Frostbites out. Well, 1 more Frostbite. No, 2 more Frostbites out. And then when I flip over, I can shuffle back some 6 ice cards back into my deck. So I get to finally use that ability. Okay, so main scheme is going to get 1, followed by Pestilence attacking... Oh, after Pestilence attacks you, my text box will once again be treated as blank, but I think that's okay. Having only 5 counters is fine. So Pestilence is attacking for 2. I can take... I have Power Bolt, so I have 14 HP. I can take this hit. No, yeah, I can take this hit. So let's have Iceman take this hit. I'm taking 2 plus 2. That's going to be 4 damage, putting me up to 10. Followed by a face-down card. That card is going to be the Horseman of Death. Oh, this moves over to War, but I think that makes Death the one that activates. Heal 2 damage from Death, give him a tough status card, he activates against you. Freaking heck. Okay. Well, Death is activating against me. Cyclops is going to block this. So Cyclops will be defeated. He is boosting for... After this activation, War activates against you. Do not give a voice card to... No! Oh my god, everything is... My entire plan has just been destroyed. And this will also deal 1 damage to every character I control, so I take 1 damage, and the Snow Clone takes 1 damage. And then that would move it over to Famine, but now War is activating. After heal 2 damage from Death and give him a tough status card, he activates against you. This does not actually move the counter over to the next one. So when Pestilence attacked, it would have moved over to War. And now War is activating, so it moves over to Death. Because it doesn't say to move the counter over to them. Yeah, I think that's how that's supposed to work. So I guess War is now activating. I don't need to block this because he has 3 counters on him. Or he has 4 counters on him, so he's attacking for -1, plus a boost of 1, so 0 damage. But now all my ice counters goes away, and my setup is completely ruined. That was horrendously bad. Oh no, he should not get a boost card for that activation, so this should not have gone over there. Heal 2 damage from War and give him a tough status card. He activates against you. No, Horseman of Death was the one that caused Death to activate. And when he activated, he got this boost card. So War does not heal, and they don't get a tough card. But Death does get a tough card. Now it's my turn, and my plan has been completely screwed up. How do I want to deal with this? Next, Death is going to attack, and my text box is blank. Oh, and I have to discard an upgrade or support I control as well. Discarding team building exercise. I have 3 of these. I'll discard a team building exercise. This is not good. Let's use the power of leadership for team training. So all my guys get +1 hit points, and then I can't use my cryokinetic perception. Let's let the Sauron live stay out there, I guess. So in that case, I will use an Arctic attack. Sure, let's use an Arctic attack. So I get to deal 4 damage to an enemy and attach a set-aside copy of Frostbite to it. I'm going to deal the 4 damage to... No, I'm going to deal the 4 damage to Famine. I want to flip over, so I'm going to try to make it so that when Famine activates, I can flip over safely. Since Famine has a Frostbite counter on it, Snow Clone can attack, dealing 2 more damage, and that's going to be the end of my turn. Drawing back up to 5, but that was the end of my deck, so I get a face-down card. I have my team building exercise back, an Ice Blast, lead from the front. I probably will just play Avengers Mansion to be completely honest, or an Ice Blast. Choose a player, attach a set-aside copy of Frostbite to the villain and each minion engage with that player. So these are not minions, so I don't get to put a Frostbite on every single one of them. Deal 3 damage to each enemy with a copy of Frostbite attached, so in theory, I could deal 3 damage to all of these guys if I attack properly. But we'll see what I do. So, main scheme is going to get 1, followed by Death attacking, and Snow Clone is going to have to block this, so Death? Yeah, Death is attacking, boosting for, after this activation, Famine activates against you. Do not give, are you freaking kidding me? What if... Okay. Snow Clone will be defeated. And this moves it over to Famine. So Famine now attacks without getting a boost card, so they are going to attack for 1 because the Frostbite is going to go away, so I guess I'll just take 1 more damage. And then we get a face down card. Oh, and then that would move the next counter over to Pestilence, I suppose, because Famine just activated. So the first face down card is Hound. Guard. When revealed, if you're in hero form, Hound attacks you. Otherwise, change your identity to hero form, so they're attacking for 2. I don't have the HP to take this, so I guess I'm going to exhaust Iceman to not take the 2 damage, followed by Evil Alliance. When revealed, each Nemesis minion activates, otherwise put 3 counters on Pursued by the Past, which will activate Pursued by the Past, which will put out Pyro, who does have Quick Strike, dealing 3 damage to me, so I will have lost. I had everything set up perfectly for war. Everything was perfect. I'm gonna give this another shot. I'm doing this, I'm trying this again. I had that, and I'm doing this again. Alright, let us randomize the setup once again. We are going to hope War is not the first one. War is the first one, followed by Death being the second one, and then Pestilence being the fourth one. Unfortunately, War is once again the first one somehow. Roll for the side scheme that comes into play. That is going to be 1, which is Wars. This setup is not good. This setup is not good. Oh my goodness, the Ravages of War gives me +1 card every turn. And when I defeat it, I have to discard an upgrade or support I control. What is with this? Alright, I guess we're not playing upgrades during the first couple turns, but the problem is like half my deck is upgrades, because I want resource generators for all my ice cards. Because I want to play every single one of them every single turn. But this is not going to happen apparently. So, let us begin. We are going to start with 6 on that one, and drawing our hand size of 6. We should be in alter ego form. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I suppose, wait, do Frostbites count as upgrades I control that I could discard for War? Frostbite is an upgrade, and they are my upgrades. Can I just discard the Frostbites? That didn't occur to me, but I might be able to do that. I think I'm going to go with the assumption that I can do that. So, in that case, then, let's use... I think I want to mulligan these 3 cards and hope for leadership cards so I can do more with this hand. Yeah. I'm going to discard these 3, hope for a leadership card. Didn't get a leadership card, but I did get a second team building exercise. So I might just play 2 team building exercises. That might be the play. So I'm going to play 2 team building exercises, flip over to Iceman, and Iceman is going to attack... When do I want to flip over? Iceman is going to attack Pestilence. I'm probably going to flip over to heal around Pestilence. So Pestilence is going to get a counter, and they're going to take 2 damage, and that's going to be the end of my turn. Unfortunately, I didn't get to thwart the Ravages of War, so I'm going to have to deal with that. So main scheme is going to get 1. I'm going to draw my hand size of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. War is going to attack. War is attacking for 3. I have Ice Slide, another team building exercise. You know what? Sure, let's defend this. How does this activate? Hold on. Frostbite, after the attached enemy... Force response. After attached enemy activates or leaves play, set this card aside. Activates or leaves play. After they activate. This is after War attacks. Discard an upgrade or support you control. So can I just defend, put the Frostbite on War, and then after War attacks, do the force response of War first, because these are the same window timing. And I think I get to choose when it's the same window timing. And then use War's thing to discard the Frostbite that is on War. I think that works. I'm fairly certain that when something is the same timing, I get to choose. So I'm going to defend for 2. They're attacking for 3. They will get a Frostbite counter. So they're attacking for 2 plus 2. So I'm going to take 2 damage. So then War is going to activate, discarding the Frostbite that is on War. And that's going to move the counter over to Death. Now we have to reveal 2 cards, unfortunately. So those 2 cards are going to be... Oh, well, I suppose it's 1 at a time. Horseman of Pestilence. Heal 2 damage from Pestilence, which is the one that I attacked somehow. And give them a tough side card, and she activates against you. So she's activating against me, dealing... She's attacking for 1, and she does get a boost card for this, so that's going to be 2. I take 3 more damage. and that puts this Frostbite away. And because she has at least 1 hit point, my text box is counted as blank, but that's okay because I wasn't going to do anything anyways. So then this moves the counter over to Pestilence, and now we can reveal the second card, which is going to be Sinister Strike. In hero form, place 1 pursuit counter on pursuit by the past, then if it has any counters on it, the villain attacks. Jesus, this freaking... Alright, well, Pestilence is attacking me again. They're attacking for 2, plus 1, that's 3 more damage. I'm up to 8 damage. And my text box is still treated as blank, moves it over to Famine. Now it is my turn. Okay. Man, I might just want to flip over right now, to be completely honest, because I can defend against war, and then that will take care of itself. So Famine is going to be annoying, because they're going to put me closer to getting cards. I don't have any Thwart event in my hand, unfortunately, so let's use a team building exercise to pay for Arctic Attack, and I'm going to pay for that using my Ice Slide, because I think I'm about to flip over. So deal 4 damage to an enemy and set a set-aside copy of Frostbite to it. So 4 damage to Famine, and they get a Frostbite. And then I think I'm going to use another team building exercise, Beak and team building exercise, to pay for Ice Blast. Choose a player, attach a set-aside copy of Frostbite, and attach it to the villain, and each minion engaged with that player deal 3 damage to each enemy with a copy of Frostbite attached. So in that case, actually, I think I'm going to put this one on to... I could put it on War, and then start dealing damage to War. Because it doesn't matter if I put 2 on Famine, they're not going to take the Frostbite twice, or the Ice Blast twice. Sure, let's put this one on War, so then they're each going to take 3 damage. And that's going to be the end of my turn after I flip over to Alter Ego form. So I flipped over to Alter Ego form. There are 2 Frostbites in play. So I get to shuffle back 2 ice cards. Yeah, 2 ice cards in my discard pile back into my hand. I'm going to choose the Chill Out, a Thwart event, and a Snow Clone. So these are going to go shuffled back into my deck, and that's going to be the end of my turn. Then I will have to draw back up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have lead from the front, a Snow Clone, an Arctic Attack, Power Belt. Power Belt, here we go, and X-Gene. X-Gene while I'm in Alter Ego form, that's nice. So the main scheme's going to get 1. Famine is going to scheme for 2 plus Star. After this activation, War activates against you. Do not give War... Okay. So they're scheming for 2 on the main scheme. Followed... okay, so then that would put the activation token on War. This would go away. And then War is going to activate now for 1 because they have the Frostbite. So then the Frostbite goes away, which would put this onto Death. Now we get 2 more cards, and the first card is going to be the Spectre of Death. That is a Amplify icon. The second card is going to be Rough Riders. Resolve the ding on the ding as if we were two riders, basically. So Death is going to deal 1 damage to every character I control, and then Pestilence is going to make my text box blank. Let's use a lead from the front to play X-Gene, and then use... I'm going to exhaust Bobby Drake. I'm pretty sure I can still do my basic stuff. I'm going to exhaust Bobby Drake to heal for 4, putting me back down to 5 damage, and then flip over to Iceman, and then use... I don't have enough to play Power Belt and Snow Clone. Because team building exercise forces me to play a card from my hand that shares a trait. It doesn't reduce the cost of them. And X-Gene can only reduce the cost of an identity-specific event. That's going to be Arctic Attack. Well, let's make it so that Famine can't activate again, at least. So let's use team building exercise and my X-Gene to pay for Arctic Attack, deal 4 damage to an enemy, and set a copy of Frostbite to it, so they're up to 11 damage, and they have a Frostbite, and then I'm going to use my Power Belt, and yeah, I'm going to use my Power Belt. I don't really want to use my Power Belt for this, and my team building exercise for my Snow Clone. Snow Clone is going to attack Famine for free, which would put them up to 12 damage, so now they can't do their event at the very least. That's going to be the end of my turn. Drawing back up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a Deft Focus, lead from the front, you got this, make the call, chill out. Okay. Main scheme gets 1. Pestilence attacks for 2. I will not block this. I can't take this hit. So Pestilence... No, wait, but then either way my text box is going to be blank. It doesn't matter. I was going to say that I should not block this so that I can put a ding on someone else. so Snow Clone can attack them. But it doesn't matter because I'm gonna have a blank text box. Plus I have Chill Out in my hand. Yeah, okay, I'll defend this. Sure, why not? I'll defend this. That puts a counter onto Pestilence, so they're attacking for 1 plus 1, so I take no damage from this. And then this would go away, and my text box is now blank. This shifts it over to Famine. Oh, sorry, 1 plus 2 because of Hound. So I do take 1 damage. The Amplify icon gives it +1. And now we reveal 2 cards. The first card is the Eye of Sauron. Discard the top 2 cards of my deck and do stuff based off that. That's a physical and a lightning. Physical is deal 1 damage to identity, and a lightning is place 1 threat on the main scheme. Second card is going to be the Eye of Sauron yet again. 2 cards, 2 wilds. That's going to be exhausted character you control, so I only have 1 unexhausted character, so that's going to be Snow Clone, is going to be unexhausted. Now it's my turn. And unfortunately, Snow Clone is exhausted. Let's use Lead from the Front, because I can't pay for... None of my characters can do anything this turn, so I'm going to use a Lead from the Front for the Deft Focus, and use my Deft Focus and my Team Building Exercise for my Chill Out. Remove 3 threats from a scheme. I'm going to remove 3 from the Ravages of War, and I get to set a set-aside copy of Frostbite to an enemy. That enemy is going to be Famine, because I think I might flip over. I can't use You Got This, and Make the Call won't do anything. I don't have enough to pay for anything with Make the Call either. This is... ah, man. All this exhaustion is terrible. I probably should not have defended that. This turn would be a lot better if I didn't defend that. So I think I'm just going to have to discard both these cards. So that's going to be the end of my turn. Everything unexhaust. Oh, I can flip over, however, to Bobby Drake, because I said I was going to flip over. Am I going to flip over? 2 attack versus discarding the top 10 cards of my deck. Sure, let's flip over so I get to shuffle back 2 more Frosty cards into my deck. Why is the Eye of Sauron in here? Those should not be in there. Yeah, let's get the Power Belt and Chill Out back into my deck. This is actually really quite risky, but at this point I'm like, what do I have to lose? Worst case scenario, I'll just restart again. This was a really quick restart if I have to restart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards because I'm Bobby Drake. And then it is... This gets 1, it's up to 9. Yeah, it's up to 9. Famine is going to scheme for 1 plus 2 because of the Spectre of Death, so that's going to be 3 onto the main scheme, putting it up to 12. So yeah, I do lose. I did not account. Yeah, I didn't do the math properly for that. That is 12. I do lose. Okay, let's restart. I do actually think that this will work. I just have had terrible first couple of turns. Horrendously bad couple of first turns. This will work. Trust me, it will work. So I looked it up in between the last game and this one, and it turns out that I am right in terms of timing. When it comes to war attacking and making me discard a support or upgrade a control, and when Frostbite is forced to be discarded, that is the same window and I do get to choose. So in theory, I could choose to discard Frostbite if it weren't for the permanent keyword. Because of the permanent keyword, other cards outside of Iceman's hero set cannot discard Frostbite. So unfortunately, what I was doing last game does not work, and War cannot discard the Frostbite that was attached to them. I have to choose a different upgrade. So that sucks. But we'll get through it as long as we don't have a terrible start again. So let's roll for the order again. Same thing, you should be used to this by now. Death is going to be the first one. Finally, it's not going to be War. Followed by 2 is going to be War. And 3 is going to be Pestilence, followed by Famine. And for the side scheme, we are getting 2, the Ravages of War. I would just cheese this and be like, no, I'm going to choose a scheme. I'm going to be like, I'm tired of this, and I'm going to choose by myself. I'm going to exclude it from the pool, but that's not the proper thing to do. I should honestly not play in Expert. This is not going very well for me. I'm kind of shocked that I managed to beat the Four Horsemen on my first try. Then again, I was using magic for that try, so it makes sense. Magic is very, very strong. You don't even have to know anything about her. Like, you take one look at her set, even just looking at her hero cards, and it's like, wait a second, you get 2 cards every turn and 2 effective resources? Like, what the heck? How does this compute? But yeah, so magic's very strong. And this set is actually like designed to annoy Iceman, because Iceman needs their hero ability to not be blank and they need their upgrades. So that's not great. Also, they deal 1 damage to all your allies, and my ice clones only have 2 health. But let's give this another shot once again. We are going to draw our hand of 6. And let us see what we want to mulligan. 2 team building exercises. I do like seeing team building exercises. I don't think I'm going to... Ooh, I could play a Frozen Solid, actually. Hold on. If I use a team building exercise, I could then use 2 team building exercise and 2 other cards for a Frozen Solid. Ravages of War should come into play with 6. I actually need to thwart that. Never mind. I have an Ice Blast. I don't have a thwart event, actually. Never mind. I do have Nick Fury, though. Nick Fury could come into play, remove 2 from his scheme. Then he could thwart the Ravages of War for 2 more, and that wouldn't be enough. Could I play my 2 team building exercises and Frozen Solid? I don't think so. But I think I might want to try to fish for... Yeah, either way, I could play Arctic Attack or Frozen Solid. So I think I'm going to fish for a resource card. So let's discard these 2 cards and hope I get a resource. 2 more cards, no resource. Okay. In that case, I will use... Oh, wait, no, this does not work out at all. Wait a second. These don't cost 1, these cost 2. Awkward. So in that case, let's use Arctic Attack and Team Building Exercise for one of them. Or I suppose I could go 2 Team Building Exercises once again. War is going to attack, so it would be nice to have... Then again, I could prevent War from attacking if I just place a Frozen Solid. Oh, decisions. Screw it, I'm going 2 team building exercises. Alright, 2 Arctic Attacks and Marrow and Frozen Solid for a second team building exercise. I'm going to flip over to Iceman, and Iceman is going to attack... I might just attack War. I might flip over for War, just for the fun of it. Just to be like, screw you. So they don't get to make me discard an upgrade. So War is going to take 2 damage from this attack. And that's going to be it for me. I'm going to draw back my hand size of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the main scheme is going to get 1. And Def is going to attack me for 3. Def is attacking for 3, but I think I can take this. So I'm going to take 3 plus a 2 boost. That's going to be a total of 5 damage to me. This moves the counter over to War. And then we are going to reveal 2 cards. The first card is going to be the Eye of Sauron. 2 cards off the top of my deck. A wild is exhaust a character you freaking control. Oh my... And place 1 threat on the main screen scheme. And then the second one is going to be release the Hounds. Sure. First copy of Hound comes into play with Get Surge. The first copy of Hound revealed each phase gets Surge. And then it's my turn again. So War is going to activate, so I would like to flip over just on that principle. So let's use a... Oh, and because Def attacked, I will take 1 more damage. All my characters are going to take 1 damage. That's right. So I'm at 6 out of 11. Here, let's use a lead from the front and a helicarrier for another team building exercise. So now I have all 3 of these out here. Probably don't need all 3 of these, but whatever. Screw it. I'm committed at this point. And then I'm going to use Triage and a team building exercise for a Snow Clone. Snow Clone is going to attack War for 2 for free. And then I'm going to flip over to Alter Ego, which will allow me to put a ice card back. Why do I keep putting this in my discard pile? This should not go into my discard pile. I'm going to put a... I don't actually have that many ice cards in my discard. Let's go for the Ice Blast to get shuffled back into my deck. Oh yeah, if I get Ice Blast and then they get their Hounds, it's not going to matter because I'm just going to defeat all the Hounds. That's going to be great if that happens. Let's reveal all the Hounds this turn. Let's do it. Do it. I dare you. 1, 2, 3... Well, assuming I get my Ice Blast. Let me draw my Ice Blast and then reveal all the Hounds this turn. Do I have my Ice Blast? I do not. Never mind. Don't reveal the Hounds. So main scheme is going to get 1. War is going to scheme for 1 plus 1, so that's going to be 2 more on the main scheme, putting it up to 6 out of 12. This is going to move over to Pestilence. This is going to get discarded from War, And now we reveal 2 more cards. 2 cards are going to be Exhaustion, Exhaust Your Identity, and Surge, Sauron Lives. And I can no longer thwart the main scheme, and when I defeat this, I will have to search for Sauron and deal them to myself as a face-down encounter card. And the second card is going to be Plague and Pestilence. And once again, I can no longer thwart the main scheme. This has reaffirmed my belief that Expert is not fun. Expert just straight up is not fun. Exhaustion every single time is like, oh, you wanted to do something? Too bad, you don't get to do something. And just double Surge. Expert is not a well-designed set. I don't like it. It's not good. See, and now it doesn't even matter if I do anything. The fact that I am exhausted, because next turn when I become unexhausted, assuming I stay unexhausted, when Pestilence attacks, I'm not going to have any traits on my heroes again, so I don't get to do my Iceman stuff. And I can't even do any Iceman stuff at the moment because I'm exhausted, so I can't use You Got This, and I can't use the Cryokinetic Perception. I might just make the call with Nick Fury, to be completely honest. That might be what I'm gonna do. Okay, let's flip over to hero form and then make the call using these 4 cards with Nick Fury. Nick Fury comes into play, and what am I going to have Nick Fury do? I can either remove 2 from a scheme, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage to an enemy. Let's draw the 3 cards because I still need to play my Cryokinetic Perception. So I'm going to draw the 3 cards. That's going to be Ice Blast, Frozen Solid, and You Got This. Okay. Nick Fury is going to thwart 2 from the Ravages of War. That's really screwing us over. I still can't use the You Got This because I have to exhaust my hero to make a basic thwart or attack. And thanks to that freaking exhaustion, I can't do anything. I'm going to use a team building exercise and a You Got This to play my Cryokinetic Perception because that's pretty important, and then I don't have enough to play anything else in my hand. Oh, but then it's not going to matter if I have the Cryokinetic Perception because Pestilence is going to attack and make it so I don't have a text box. So you know what? Let's not do that. Instead, I'm going to use my team building exercise with You Got This and an Ice Blast for the Frozen Solid on Pestilence so they can't activate, and I'm going to keep the Cryokinetic Perception in my hand. Nick Fury is not going to be able to defend anything, but they're probably going to get something that makes an enemy activate, so I guess that's fine. And then let's use Snow Clone. Gotta use Snow Clone eventually to attack War for 2. And that's going to be the end of my turn. And I'm going to keep the Cryokinetic Perception in my hand because that's pretty important. Cyclops, 2 Power of Leaderships, and an Ice Blast. Okay. Main scheme gets 1. Pestilence tries to activate, but they can't because they're Frozen Solid, and they will get a Frostbite counter on them. And then we're going to reveal 2 cards. First card is going to be Hound. Hound is here. Nick Fury is not exhausted. Hound is here, they have guard. I am in hero form, so Hound will attack me. Nick Fury will block this. Followed by the second card of Ahab, Toughness, and when revealed, if Hound is in play, or release the Hounds is in play, that gets 3 threat on it. I'm not going to thwart this out, so I'm just going to put this over here to save space. Oh, wait, Hound gets Surge. So we get 1 more card, and that is another Hound, and that Hound is attacking me for 2. This would be a great time to draw my Ice Blast. Oh wait, I have my Ice Blast. Wait a second, I have Ice Blast. It's in my hand. Choose a player, attach a set-aside copy of Frostbite to the villain, and each minion engaged with that player deal 3 damage to each enemy with a copy of Frostbite attached. Oh, I can do this. Wait a second. Okay. This is good. Let's use team building exercise and a power of and a power of leadership for the Cryokinetic Perception. Wait a second, comeback of the century right here, maybe. Let's use Iceman to attack Ahab. This is gonna get rid of the tough. I'm gonna be exhausted, but that will put a counter onto Ahab. And then I'm gonna exhaust my Cryokinetic Perception to draw a card. If it has ice, I get to ready myself. It does have ice, so I get to ready Iceman. And then Snow Clone is going to attack Ahab for 2, and they don't take the they don't take the whatever because they have a Frostbite on them. Okay. Then I won't have enough, unfortunately, for Snow Clone and an Ice Blast. That's not going to work out. So I think I'm just going to have to cut my losses and play Ice Blast at this point. So I'm going to use another team building. Oh, wait, no. Iceman can do stuff still. Iceman is going to then attack War. Iceman's attacking War, putting a Frostbite on them as well, dealing 2 damage to them. They're up to 8. Now I will use another team building exercise, and I'm going to use the Cyclops and the Power of Leadership. For Ice Blast, choose a player, attach a set-aside copy of Frostbite. There's only 3 attached, so I still have 3 more. Attach it to the villain, and I get to choose the villain in this case. I'm going to put that one on Death. And then deal 3 damage to each enemy with a copy of Frostbite attached. So all of these villains are going to take 3 damage, and all of these minions are going to take 3 damage as well. This is going to put War up to 11. Pestilence is going to go up to 3. And then 3 damage on all of these guys, which will defeat all 3 of these. Now I have a Snow Clone left in my hand, and I'm going to save the Snow Clone to play because I kind of really want that Snow Clone. So that's going to be the end of my turn, and I just got to survive the Pestilence attacking me, and then I won't have any traits. My text box is going to be blank again, so I can't use my Cryokinetic Perception, which is going to be so annoying. Power of Leadership for Beak. Okay. So Horseman is going to get 1. Pestilence is going to attack for 1. I don't have a health upgrade, so I will be defeated. So Snow Clone does kind of have to block this. So Pestilence is attacking for 1 plus Star. After this activation resolves, put 1 pursuit counter on pursuit better past. Oh, I could have taken that, unfortunately, and Snow Clone is now going to be defeated. Dang. Now my text box is blank. This moves over to Famine. And this will also get removed from Pestilence, and then we reveal 2 cards. First card is going to be Rough Riders. Do that thing on here. Discard the top 10 cards of my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the rest of my deck. So they will get dealt another face-down card, which will be flipped up now. And then we move the next counter over to... Wait, no. First it would have been... Yeah. Famine, and now it's going to move over to Death. And now Death is going to deal 1 damage to every character I control, so now I am up to 9 damage. That was Rough Riders. Second card is going to be Under Fire, Surge, a double Surge, of course. This would be the time I get a double Surge. First card is going to be Sauron. When revealed, search the encounter and discard power for a copy of Life Drain and attachment and reveal it. Life Drain. What is that? Life Drain. Attached to the minion with the highest printed health point. It activates against you. If no minion activated this way, this card gains Surge. Force interrupt. When the attached enemy attacks you, take 2 damage and give the attacking enemy a tough status card. Are you kidding me? That's terrible. Oh my god, Sauron's so vicious. What a terrible thing to give me. Okay, so now Sauron is attacking me. I'm automatically going to take 2, which will put me at 11 automatically. So it doesn't matter if I defend or not. I just lost. Alright. I give up. I give up. This is not going to work. Expert is not going to work. Sauron's not going to work. Sauron has a bunch of stuff that Sauron can also exhaust me with the Eye of Sauron. This is not going to work. I give up. I don't know what I'm doing next, but I give up. Goodbye. Hopefully I see you next time.